Hey, what's up guys, Jaeky here. I'm a top 400 Valorant Radiant player, and today we're going to be unboxing and reviewing the Razer Huntsman V3 Pro. Quick disclaimer, this was sent out by Razer for review, but as always, that does not affect my opinion of it. So the Razer Huntsman V3 Pro is pretty much Razer's attempt to copy booting and their custom actuation points as well as rapid trigger. This comes in 3 different layouts. You have a mini version, which is a 60%, that is retailing for $180 USD. You have a 10 keyless version, which is the one I will be reviewing today, and that is retailing for $220 USD. And finally, you have the full size version, which is $250 USD. So yeah, the only real difference between these 3 is the form factor. On the TKL and up, you will get an LED screen, as well as a volume knob and media keys. Okay, so getting straight into the unboxing here, you will get the keyboard, obviously. On the bottom of the board, you have 5 different rubber feet, as well as flip kickout stands that you can adjust to 2 separate levels. You can choose between either having the board lie completely flat on your table, a 6-degree typing angle, or a 9-degree typing angle. These are the switches right here. They are the Razer Analog Optical Switch Gen 2 to utilize the custom actuation and rapid trigger. And interestingly enough, each switch seems to have its own little stabilizer. I've actually never seen that before. But unfortunately, that does not help whatsoever with the sound. More on that later. In the box, you also get your standard braided USB-C to USB-A cable. Very nice quality cable. This keyboard does come with a magnetic handrest. The material on the top is a leather texture. It is very hard, so there's no plushness whatsoever to the wrist rest. So if you're looking for a cushiony sort of wrist rest, this is not what you're getting. It is a very hard surface, but again, it is magnetic, so you can just snap it onto the bottom of the keyboard for a nice little wrist rest to reduce typing fatigue so that your hands don't get as tired. Okay, so I have the keyboard here plugged into my computer, and as you can see, this is what it looks like with all of the RGB on. The keycaps here are shine through PBT, and they do have a sort of rough texture on the top, which I actually kind of like. It's sort of like a chalky texture on the top of the keycap, so it's not completely smooth, so you do have a little bit of grip on the keyboard if you are in WASD position. Let's say, for example, the keycaps do have a little bit of grip to them. So the volume dial on the Huntsman V3 is very smooth and very tactile, works as intended. It's not too loose, it's tensioned very nicely, so you won't actually hit it accidentally, so you don't have to really worry about that. It is a very nice volume knob and it's tensioned very well. You can push down on it to mute, and it will change colors if you want it to indicate and let you know that you have muted the sound. Build quality wise, this keyboard is made out of entirely plastic, except for this top plate. This is brushed aluminum, but other than that, other than the top plate here, the entire keyboard is completely plastic. And yeah, just the entire outer shell of the board is made out of a plastic material. Bending the keyboard here, there is a bit of creaking. So if you are bending the keyboard like this, there is actually not that much flex in the board. So it is pretty rigid, but if you do put a little bit of pressure on it, you can probably hear it squeaking right now and making a lot of noise. So build quality is obviously not the best, it's just a full plastic material. So the main selling point of the Huntsman V3 Pro is that they are using those Gen 2 analog switches, which will allow you to customize the actuation point as well as enable rapid trigger to get similar performance to the Wooting 60HE. So let's actually go into the software real quick. I want to talk about Razer Synapse. Alright, so we are in the infamous Razer Synapse. A lot of people absolutely despise Razer Synapse, and I can definitely see why. Razer Synapse crashed on me several times as I was trying to set up profiles on this keyboard. I ended up getting it working in the end. I created my own little profile here, and so I'm going to give you guys a quick run through of the software and how you can set custom actuations as well as rapid trigger. And then later on in the video, we will obviously do a sound test, and I'll also go over the rapid trigger performance in-game as well. Okay, so let's go over the software. On the first tab here, we can turn on gaming mode, and what this will do is you can choose to disable your Windows key, menu key, Alt Tab, and Alt F4. You can disable either all of them or you can pick and choose. Next to that is gamepad remapping. You can use this keyboard as an analog controller because it does use optical switches, so it does support analog. If you want to do that, you can remap here. And then right under that, you can test out the analog features as well if you are using this keyboard as a gamepad. Moving on to the actuation tab, this is where the main features of the keyboard lie. You can change the actuation point as well as rapid trigger in here, so you can do per key actuation as well as rapid trigger, so you can change it separately for each key. So for example, you can change it for all the keys. You can press select all keys, and then down here you can change actuation from 0.1 millimeters all the way down to 4.0 millimeters. So obviously the higher up you go, the more sensitive the key is going to be. I have put mine on 1mm because that's what I do on my wooding keyboard. And another thing is you can actually see a visualization here. So if I press down the A key ever so slightly, you can see how much I'm actually pushing down this key. And if I go all the way down, this is me bottoming out. And then if I slowly lift my finger off of the key, you can get a real-time visualization of how far I'm actually pushing this key down. So that's very cool. And then after you set the actuation, you can either choose to sync this to all of the keys, or you can click here and choose certain keys, and you can sync it to only the selected keys. So if you just want your WASD to be sensitive, you can do that. So I'm just going to press sync to all keys here, and it's going to load for a little bit. And as you can see, if we hover over the keys now, you can see the actuation on each of my keys is set to 1.0mm. For rapid trigger, if you turn this on, you can do separate up and down strokes if you want to. I don't do that. I just set it just the general rapid trigger sensitivity here. So you can go from 1.0mm all the way down to 0.1. 0.1 is the most sensitive that it will be, meaning that as soon as you lift your finger off of the key, it will activate rapid trigger. So again, you can do this per key as well. For my wooding, I set it to the most sensitive, which is 0.1, which is what I'm also going to do for the Huntsman V3. All right, guys, one thing I do want to touch on is you don't want to enable rapid trigger on your spacebar. One thing I found is that when you enable rapid trigger for your spacebar on the Huntsman V3, it will actually cause your spacebar to double tap. And I think that's because the spacebar is such a large key for some reason. It will input it twice. I'm not sure what the cause of this is, but as you can see, if I have rapid trigger enabled right now on my spacebar and I go to a double click test, so every so often when you hit your spacebar, it will actually end up double tapping. Like right there, it went from 18 to 20. So every now and then, granted it doesn't happen super often, like right there again, it just double tapped. So avoid enabling rapid trigger on your spacebar. It might even happen on the shift keys. I'm not too sure. We can test it on shift as well. Yeah, so it just happened there again on my shift key. It double clicked. So yeah, you want to be careful about enabling rapid trigger, or at least making it this sensitive on, especially on the bigger keys. It can cause them to double tap for whatever reason. I never had this issue on my wooding, but on the Huntsman V3, that seems to be an issue. So do keep that in mind. On the third tab here, we can just change the RGB effects. So you can do whatever RGB you want. I just have it on static right now. You can change the brightness as well, and you can also set it to turn off when your display turns off. So very standard stuff here. Also forgot to mention on the customize tab, you can change all of the keybinds for the keyboard by clicking open this burger menu right here, as you can see. All right, guys, now let's get into the sound test section of the keyboard. I want to preface this by saying that this keyboard does not sound good at all. That's not even like coming from a modded standpoint. Like my modded wooding obviously is going to sound a million times better than this. But even from like a stock gaming keyboard perspective, something about this board, it just sounds really unpleasing to listen to. I'm not sure if it's because it's a completely plastic chassis, or if it's because of the actual switches themselves with those weird stabilizers on each switch. Not sure what the cause of it is, but this keyboard does not sound pleasing. Yeah, let's get into the sound test here. I'm going to do first my wooding that's completely modded, and then I'm going to compare it to this. So yeah, guys, that was the sound test. And obviously, as you can tell, this keyboard is not the best sounding keyboard out there. Definitely far from the best. But obviously, Razer is not targeting the keyboard enthusiast community. So people buying this keyboard are probably not too worried about how it sounds. Which leads me on to the performance of the Huntsman V3. So if it doesn't sound good, does it at least perform well? Does the rapid trigger and custom actuation perform well? And I have to say, yeah, I mean, it performs as I would expect it to. It's pretty much indistinguishable from my wooding, the rapid trigger. As soon as I lift off the key, my character stops in game, and if I feather between my AD keys, it's very similar in terms of performance to my wooting, almost to the point where it's indistinguishable, and I pretty much just can't tell the difference. So there is another YouTuber who used a micrometer to measure the actuation point, and they used the micrometer to test the keyboard out. It seems like the actuation point and the rapid trigger works down to the 0.1 millimeter. So in terms of performance, the Huntsman V3 Pro does perform as you would expect. Obviously, I can't test things like latency. I don't have the technology here to test the actual latency between the Wooting and the Huntsman V3. But if I can't tell a difference just using it normally, then do the latency tests really matter if you can't tell an actual distinguishable difference using it? In my opinion, no. Alright guys, final thoughts and conclusion on the Razer Huntsman V3 Pro. Would I recommend this keyboard? For $220 USD for the TKL, it's really hard to recommend, especially considering how it sounds. For $220 USD, you would be much better off just picking up something like a Wooting 60HE, or even something like a Book 75 from Melitrix, or even a Keychron Q1HE that I reviewed on my channel as well, which all three of those keyboards sound infinitely better than the Huntsman V3 Pro stock. But yeah, that's pretty much it guys. If you enjoyed the video and it helped you out, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.